Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are grabbing our metaphorical backpacks and stepping straight into what might be the biggest classroom revolution since the internet.
Strategic AI integration.
Exactly. We are so far past the point of asking if AI belongs in schools. The real question now is how. How do you use it so effectively that it, fundamentally changes what a teacher actually does?
And that is the absolute core mission of our source material today, the 2025 AI Classroom Playbook. It treats AI not as some shiny new gadget, but as core infrastructure.
Like the internet or electricity?
Precisely. It's there. It's baked into the daily workflow. And the real strategic insight here is that AI needs to move beyond just, administrative efficiency and actually start transforming learning itself.
And I think the most profound change that the playbook highlights is this shift in the educator's role. It argues the teacher moves from being a deliverer of content
The person at the front, yeah.
to a facilitator of wisdom. And I think this is critical, a human guide.
It is. And that shift has these massive implications because AI finally lets us tackle the two sigma problem.
Which has been around for decades.
For decades. It's the finding that one-on-one tutoring is just vastly more effective than standard classroom teaching. And now, by 2025, tools like Conmigo or a custom ChatGPT can act as that personal tutor. They learn a student's specific gaps, their strengths, and offer tailored support instantly.
At scale.
At scale.
So, okay, if every student now has this
Yeah.
digital assistant that can spit out facts instantly, they can give them tailored explanations, what does that mean for the human skills we teach? If the answers are free, what's the new currency?
The new literacy is absolutely not just absorbing content anymore. It's questioning, it's framing problems, it's critical thinking.
Right.
If the AI is handling the what, then we, the humans, need to handle the why and the how. And to frame those great questions, you kind of need to understand the mechanics of creation itself.
Okay, so we need to get under the hood a little. Let's distinguish between the two main categories of AI that the playbook talks about.
You've got two fundamental types. First is what's called discriminative AI. It analyzes existing data, so think facial recognition. It spots a face and discriminates between a person and, say, a wall.
It's an expert at classification.
Exactly. But the real game changer for the classroom is the second category.
Generative AI.
That's the one. It creates new data, text, images, music, code. It's the engine that's driving all this personalized feedback and lesson planning we're talking about. But what's really fascinating is how it creates.
So let's look at those engines. The text models, your GPT, Claude, Gemini, they're all built on the transformer architecture. I've heard them called hyper-advanced autocomplete.
And that's really the simplest way to think about it. It's crucial to understand they don't retrieve facts from a database. They just predict the next token.
A word or part of a word?
Yeah, a piece of a word based on statistical probability. They use something called an attention mechanism, which weighs the importance of all the words that came before it to make sure the prediction is contextually, accurate.
So it's a calculator of likelihood, not a search engine.
Precisely. Now, contrast that with the diffusion models that power image generation, like Midjourney or DALL-E 3.
How do they turn text into a picture? It seems like magic.
Well, it's a really clever two-step process. First, they learn to take a clean image and just deliberately add noise like visual static until it's totally gone. Then they learn to perfectly reverse that process. They learn to denoise.
Okay.
So when you give it a prompt like a golden retriever wearing sunglasses, the AI starts with pure static and it just incrementally denoises it, guiding the emerging picture to match the statistical patterns of your words. It's like reverse engineering from chaos.
That is incredible. And the playbook points out a really surprising classroom application for this kind of tech,
Yeah.
creating simulated personas.
Oh, this is fantastic. Think about the engagement. Your students are no longer just reading a flat textbook. You can program an AI to embody Henry VIII or Marie Curie, give it their knowledge base, their personality.
The students can interview history.
They learn through real-time dialogue. They're not just passively absorbing facts, they're actively questioning them.
That sounds incredibly powerful. But it leads us straight to the biggest hurdle for teachers, right? To get a smart Henry VIII, to get a really good lesson plan, you need high-quality input. You have to master prompt engineering.
It's still the core principle, garbage in, garbage out.
But hold on, if the AI is so advanced now, why is GI Go still a thing? Shouldn't it just Know what I mean?
That's the perfect question, and it goes back to what we just said. It's probabilistic. It doesn't have an innate understanding of your goals, just the most likely next word. So if you're vague, it defaults to the most statistically average, generic response.
Which is useless for a teacher.
Totally useless. It demands context.
So to solve that, the playbook introduces this framework for precision. It's called the trace method.
Right. It's 5 critical elements that separate a vague request from a highly specific classroom-ready result.
Okay, let's walk through trace. I'll take the letter, you fill in the details. First up, T is for task.
Task. And you have to be precise. Don't be general. Say, write a 90-minute lesson plan, or generate 3 differentiated practice problems. Be specific.
Got it. R is for role. This is about setting the AI's persona.
Yeah, it's expertise. Act as an expert high school literature teacher specializing in Shakespeare. Or embody a Socratic tutor guiding a struggling learner. You tell it who to be.
Okay. A is for attributes. This is the format, the constraints.
Attributes are where you define the tone and the structure. Use a professional but engaging tone. Format this as a bulleted list. Keep the vocabulary to a year 7 reading level. All those little details.
C is for context. This seems like the most important one for educators.
Oh, it's critical. This is where you put your class details. Year 10 class, mixed ability, they've already studied the Renaissance. The goal is prep for the GCSE history paper. Without this, the lesson plan might be accurate, but totally wrong for your actual students.
And finally, E, examples or explain.
This one is often missed, but it's so powerful. You can provide clarity, like include a concrete analogy for the cell membrane, or you can ask it to explain its reasoning, a chain of thought.
I'll show your work.
Exactly. It forces the AI to lay out its logic, which makes spotting those hallucinations much, much easier.
The power of trace is really clear in the playbook's comparison. The basic prompt, write a lesson plan on volcanoes, gives you something totally generic.
But the advanced example, which uses trace, is just instantly actionable.
It called for a lesson on plate tectonics, and this is my favorite part. It specified a hands-on activity.
Using biscuits and cream to show divergent versus convergent boundaries?
Biscuits and cream. Is that seriously in the playbook? Because that sounds like the most engaging lesson plan ever.
Absolutely. The detailed prompt even gave an explanation for why, asking the AI to really focus on the difference between those boundary types using the edible model. The quality jump is just astounding.
Yeah. So once you have that perfect trace prompt, where do you actually take it? Let's talk about the actual tools in the 2025 toolkit. It's not just one platform, is it?
No, it's a specialized set of tools, really led by what the playbook calls the big 3 assistants.
The triad.
The triad, yeah. Each one has a specific strength. First, you have ChatGPT from OpenAI. It's the versatile all-rounder, the Swiss Army knife that handles text, voice, images, general reasoning. It does everything pretty well.
Okay. Then there's Claude from Anthropic.
Okay.
I know a lot of educators are moving to Claude for certain tasks.
Claude is the analyst and the writer. It's just known for having a more natural, less robotic writing style. And this is huge for educators. It has these exceptionally large context windows.
So it can read more.
It can read a whole book or a massive PDF curriculum guide, and it doesn't forget what was at the beginning. It holds context incredibly well.
And rounding out the triad is Gemini from Google.
Gemini is the workspace integrator. If your school lives in Google Docs, Drive, Classroom, Gemini is built for that world. It's great for multimodal stuff, analyzing an image or a video, and it just slots right into the ecosystem where teachers already work.
And these assistants power what the playbook calls the burnout buster workflow. Administrative efficiency. Give us a concrete example.
The planning drudgery just vanishes. Instead of spending your whole Sunday mapping out a course, a teacher can prompt one of these to design a complete 4-week unit on, say, climate change for year 9.
Wow.
And you specify everything, learning objectives, vocabulary, weekly activities, all aligned to standards. It's produced instantly. The teacher's job shifts from creation to refinement.
But the most profound use has to be differentiation on demand. This is where you get that true personalized learning.
This is the 2 Sigma promise delivered. Imagine you've got a student with dyslexia. A teacher can take a complex, dense science text, paste it into Claude, and just instantly prompt it. Rewrite this in a dyslexia-friendly version.
And it just does it.
In seconds. Clear layout, simpler vocabulary, bullet points, but the core scientific concepts are perfectly intact. That kind of customization used to take hours per student.
Beyond the big 3, the playbook also showcases some critical specialized platforms. It highlights magicschool.ai.
The sector-specific Swiss Army knife. It has over 50 specific tools just for teachers. IEP generators, rubric makers, assessment builders, you name it.
And what about that big risk we talked about, hallucinations?
For that, you have research tools like perplexity.ai. It's basically a conversational search engine that grounds every single answer in real-time web sources and gives you clickable citations right there.
Essential for teaching research integrity.
Absolutely.
And what about student engagement? Some mentions of some really creative tools.
Oh, yeah. Things like Suno or Udio, they generate high-quality professional AI music so students can create songs or raps about, the periodic table or historical events. It turns dry facts into something memorable.
It's active creation, not just passive consumption.
And there's another great one, Notebook LM. It can take a long document, say a chapter from a history textbook, and turn it into an audio overview, like a mini podcast dialogue between two AI hosts.
So it makes dense text accessible for auditory learners.
Instantly.
Okay, so with all this power, all this personalization, we have to talk about the elephant in the classroom assessment. If AI can write a good essay in 2 seconds, what happens to homework? How do we grade responsibly?
This is where the whole focus of education has to shift. We have to embrace what the source calls critical optimism.
Use the tools, but with a critical human eye.
Constantly. Starting with the hallucination problem. We already said LLMs are probabilistic predictors, not fact databases. They will confidently make things up.
Because they're optimized for smoothness, not truth.
Exactly. Which means the human in the loop, the HITL, is non-negotiable. The teacher must be the quality control, verifying any generated content before it ever gets to a student. Trusting it blindly is just a massive failure.
And for the homework crisis, the assignment apocalypse, the consensus solution seems to be shifting focus away from the final product.
Away from the essay, yeah.
And onto grading the process.
Absolutely. The era of the take-home essay as the main measure of learning is, well, it's fading fast. We're moving to methods that require on-the-spot human thinking. Timed in-class writing, oral assessments, or, and this is key, assessing the students' prompts and their reflection on the AI's output.
So we're grading their critical judgment.
Their ability to refine and challenge the machine, not just their ability to generate text.
We also have to touch on equity. The playbook warns about a potential two-tier system. If the best paid models, like GPT-4o, are way better than the free ones, we can just amplify existing gaps.
It's a huge risk. Schools have to plan for equitable access. If these tools are required for high-level learning, they have to be available to every student, regardless of their family's ability to pay. It's a foundational issue.
And finally, safeguarding. This is taking on a whole new dimension with synthetic media.
We have to teach students about deepfakes, about voice cloning scams. The source is really clear that kids must internalize that seeing is no longer believing when it comes to digital media. And that has to be taught proactively.
So this deep dive into the 2025 playbook really confirms this powerful central shift. AI is an augmentation tool. It frees the teacher from the drudgery so they can focus on the truly human stuff.
Mentorship, cultivating wisdom, guiding critical thought.
Right.
So the focus for you, the learner, should now move beyond just mastering the tools to that critical application and responsible ethical integration. That's where the real value is unlocked.
And the source material ends on a really provocative ethical point, one that's easy to miss in all the excitement, and that's the immense energy and water these massive AI models consume.
The carbon footprint is staggering. It's something we don't talk about enough. So the question it leaves you with is this. How should schools integrate the discussion of AI's environmental impact, this trade-off between huge cognitive benefits and a hidden ecological cost, into the curriculum?
As a core part of modern digital citizenship.
Exactly. That's something important for you to mull over or explore on your own.